Good morning, everyone. This is Leslie Jouflas with Trading Live Online, and welcome back to your Daily 5. And thank you, StockCharts, for inviting me back. This is the segment where we have about 10 minutes to present 5 charts that we're looking at. And so today, I'm going to show you a couple breakout patterns. They're current patterns. And I'm also going to update the S&P 500 index and some levels that I'm looking at right now in that. And if you don't look at the S&P 500 futures, then you can always follow along using the SPY. Okay, so I'm going to start today with the chart symbol PRNT, and this is a 3D printing ETF. What I noticed about this chart is this long coil. And one thing I like about finding setups like this is that when markets go into a long consolidation, I think of it as they're storing energy. The markets are always either in a contraction or an expansion phase. And you can see over here on the left, you can see this big run up that this ETF had. That, of course, is the expansion phase. Now it's in the contraction phase. So you can draw some trend lines around formations like this. And eventually, you don't know exactly when, but eventually the prices will move out of these types of consolidations. And this is where some larger moves tend to happen. Now, when I'm looking at setups like this, I also find where the center of these big coils are. Is if you look at this, I just sort of eyeballed where the center is, but you can see where a lot of the price trading comes up and down, back around to those price levels. Sometimes you can get some early clues on a direction of a breakout before it happens, and I'll show you that in just a minute on the chart of AMAT. So this is one that you might want to just put on your watch list and continue to monitor for a breakout. Now, when the prices are in this type of a large range, they can also be traded as a range trading technique. And I like to use the ABCD patterns, Gartley patterns, etc. for those. So let's go now to the next chart, which is Applied Materials, AMAT. And this stock has had the breakout. Now, interesting, I just mentioned that center line, so you can see the long coil that AMAT had, and you can see how many times the price went up and around that center line. Well, back over here where this little red arrow is on my weekly market setups, we look for setups like these and we use pattern recognition for different things. But back here is where we started to follow this stock for a breakout. And so you can see here that once it came back up to this line, it did some more testing. There's a bit of a gap to the upside here, and then an extended run to the upside as well. Now, this has already had the breakout. So traders can kind of wait to see if there's a pullback pattern, a retracement, a retest of this previous, that's called a throwback, a retest of the previous breakout area. The RSI down here certainly showed strength with this breakout. It's right down here where the lows of that range where the RSI was holding in a bullish position, came back up. And as this price corrected here, the RSI was showing a lot of strength with that pullback, and then getting above these resistance areas in the RSI is showing us that there is strength on this breakout. So my expectation would be now for this to sort of do a little correction back to the downside with the price. But again, a failure point would be coming back into this range. That would be a negative sign of a breakout pattern such as this. Okay, let's go ahead now and let's take a look at the Russells. The Russell also has had a breakout. The Russell had been lagging behind the NASDAQ, the S&P, and the Dow. A couple of things I wanted to point out with this chart here we can see that it finally broke out to the upside from this long consolidation pattern. Now, inside this coil, I have a couple of these A, B, C, D patterns, A, B, C, D marked here. Now, the first one right here, this is an example of this leg right here from this low to high. It never really extended in an orderly fashion up to that completion point. Instead, it went sideways. And then from this low to high and this retracement and back up, it formed another one. But here's a clue as to a direction on here. First of all, you've got this coiling around the center line and move to the upside. These particular patterns, when they fail to get just to that completion, you see how it just got underneath it, it didn't quite get it. It did a nice size retracement of that pattern and then formed some bullish candles back up. This can be a warning sign that when the price gets back up to here, this is no longer going to be a sell pattern, but it's more than likely going to do the breakout to the upside, and that is what happened on the Russell index, and it had some strength to that move. Again, the RSI on here was holding in a bullish position and broke above the resistance, is now testing back down. So stocks in the Russell, you can take a look and see if you can find similar patterns and setups. This may form a nice A to B, C, and D. Kind of lightning bolt pattern, retracement patterns, testing back down towards that area. I could offer a good buy opportunity. Well, let's go on to our next one now. So I'm going to show you two charts of the S&P today. So this one, if you followed these videos, you've probably seen this one before. This is a parallel upward trending parallel channel that has been doing a really nice job with these trend lines of identifying some high and low areas. So recently, where this pink dashed one is here, is where the price made the recent high, and now there's been a pullback. In the last couple of days, we've just sort of been chopping around. But let me show you some areas here. These lines, all these lines here, are just showing where some of these repetitive swings have been occurring. Now this one here, from the low to high, this is just repeating this low to high here. But a lot of times, I mentioned the expansion and contraction. A lot of times these types of swings also will have contraction and expansions. This particular length from this low to high expanded to just about the 1618, just a little bit off, right about here, which was coinciding with the price getting up to that upper line there. And so that right now is the current resistance area. You'll notice here, like these bars here, there's a close and there's an open and there's an open and there's a close all around this same price level that the market is testing today. I'm expecting maybe a little bit more of a bounce up and then possibly another little move to the downside. Not expecting any big moves to the downside right now, but I think some testing back and forth. So let's go down to a 60-minute chart and I can show you a little bit more detail of how I'm looking at this. So here's where the price highs were made here. There was the FOMC meeting from last week. When the announcement came out, the market, right here where this dash line is, the market had a very strong move to the upside. Well, the low of that move is 46.13. Now, this is going to be an important support area to keep an eye on because of that FOMC announcement, and that the market was able to move very strongly off of it. Generally, if a price comes back down and breaks a low such as that, that's usually sort of a failure sign. It's a negative sign. But for now, this is a strong support area. The other area that the market has as support is this 4650 area. So see this clustering right here and this current clustering right here. The lows of that is right around that 4650 area. So for now, the market had a bounce off of it this morning. But again, breaking below that 4650 is most likely going to see the prices come back down, probably back around this high level that's just above 4600, and possibly a retest of that 4613 low. So those are kind of the areas that I'm keeping an eye on for right now. I think we're going to see a little bit more range trading in the S&P, which is great for short-term traders. And then we'll probably go back into that contraction phase. Looks like we're doing it now. And then another expansion will come out of that. So that's it. That's what I have for you today. Thank you for joining me on your Daily 5. Feel free to send me an email. The first slide's got my contact on it. And I'll see you on the next Daily 5.
Hey guys, Dave Keller here with StockCharts.com. Thanks so much for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, and we hope you did, hit the like button right below. Also, we have so much new content every day. Consider subscribing to the channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the video or right below. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Have a fantastic day.